Hi everybody, welcome to week 5 of your research course. If you have not looked at some of the posts from week 4, I'm Tracy Hardell. I'm your new instructor for this course. Unfortunately, Patty was unable to continue due to some family circumstances, so I'm picking up. All right, if you haven't looked at my previous video, please do. There's some information there you might find helpful. So, as I've been posting, I've been saying that I'm working on grading and trying to get caught up. It will take me a little while. There's a lot of papers to grade. So I am caught up with the discussion questions and participation through last night, so through the end of week 4. And I've graded the week 1 papers. And I was just going to go through and grade week 1, 2, 3, kind of go that way. So I did grade week 1, and that gives you an idea of what I expect on papers, gives you a little idea about writing, that kind of stuff, following directions. And I think now what I'm going to do is grade your individual assignment from week 4, only because that's the first paper in a 3-paper assignment. That's where you're going to box 5.2 and 5.3 and answering the questions about your articles. And I don't want a lack of feedback on the first paper to influence your grades on the second and third papers in that series. So I think what I'll do is tonight start working on what you just submitted last night and try to get those done and then go back and start on week 2. So I think that will give you the best feedback for what you need to accomplish in the coming weeks. Okay? All right, so this week in our discussion questions, we're talking about demographic data and why we collect this. And you need to kind of look at it from a few different perspectives. How will the researcher use that demographic data? So what's their purpose? The funding source, if there's a funding source for the research, would they be interested in demographic data for any particular reason? And then future researchers, when they try to use the results from this study, what will the demographic data mean to them? It's kind of looking at it from different perspectives, and if you look at it that way, you might be able to think about some different reasons why we might be collecting demographic data. Okay? Developing an instrument. Oh my goodness. There have been many, nurses, educators, leaders, all sorts of people in nursing who think, I'll just throw together a quick survey, I'll come up with something, and I'll get the data that I need. Well, that is not true. There are really good surveys and not really good surveys. We talked about a little bit about last week about questionnaire versus interviewing and that kind of stuff, and some of you brought up some of the things with questionnaires or surveys, like how long is it? How in-depth? Are the right answers there that somebody would want to check? Use of white space. How many minutes does it take to complete this? Oh, there's just all sorts of things. I remember actually before I got my doctorate degree, I was teaching an ADN management course in an ADN program, and I was giving the students a survey. And instead of asking, were you able to meet the objectives of the course, I asked, did your knowledge about like management strategies or something increase by the end of this course? Well, if some of my students already have prior management experience or some exposure to that, then they might have done well in the course and met the objectives, but they might not have had a huge increase in knowledge on that particular subject. So just the way our wording is and that sort of thing, it just makes a really big difference. So I'll be interested to see what you guys think about that, okay? About how you would approach that situation. Then, for each discussion question, Patty had also posted another question, a lot of them about evidence-based practice and things like that, not necessarily the topic of the discussion question. And I am fine with you guys responding to those. A lot of them are really good questions, and if you do write a substantive post, I'd be happy to give you participation points for that. Okay? And some of you, I've not been able to mark your posts as substantive. I really try to dig through your posts and pull out what I can to give you points. But if you only are agreeing with the person's post and saying, good job, you said this and this, I agree with you, that's not really a substantive post. That's more like just parroting back what somebody said. You really do have to add to the conversation. You have to bring in a new source of data, share a personal experience, expand upon their post. You have to add something that actually makes it substantive. So just a few thoughts on that. And then a few of you I've noticed, you know how you have to have the 3 substantive replies every week? Well, they have to be on 3 different days. A few of you have been clumping them together, and so I can't give you the total points. So you have to have 3 replies, substantive ones, that are on 3 different days, okay? Basically, the idea behind that is that you are maintaining your active participation in the course, that you're not just coming in at the end of the week trying to catch up on all the reading and blast out posts, that you're actually seeing how the course is unfolding during the week. So that's the rationale besides that. Okay, so this week you have a CLC assignment that you need to work on as your group. EBP, literature search, and appraisal of evidence. So whatever area you focused on for your evidence-based practice proposal, now you are going to pull together all these articles. You are actually submitting the table that is attached to the article. And you're going to fill out all those little boxes. You might have to use a small font. I can blow it up. I can deal with it. But you're actually filling out every column of that table up to 10 articles. And you might do 2 or so that are maybe background about the subject, but the rest of them should be research articles. You are collecting the evidence upon which to base a recommendation for an evidence-based practice. So you have to collect evidence, which is research. So there has to be research out there about your topic. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's one thing that sometimes messes up people. In the rubric, there is a line across that says synthesis of findings. That is not another paper. Okay. What that really means is on the far right column of the table, there is a far right column is called implication for practice, meaning, why do I care? That, if you fill out that column, that will meet synthesis of findings, okay? So just make sure that you're appropriately formatting your references according to APA. And last night I think it was either last night or this morning, week 4 DQ2 or week 5 DQ1. I can't remember which. I think it's week 5 DQ1. I uploaded GCU's APA 6th edition style guide. So that tells you exactly what you need to put into those references. So please use that. And then I have to see every team member contributing to this effort. What most of my groups do is they say, okay, we want to find 9, 10 articles. There's this many people in our group. We'll just divide them up. And you find 2 articles, you find 3, you find 3, you find 4, whatever. And usually that's the easiest way. Anyway, so if you have any questions, send me a note in the individual forum. I am doing my absolute best to respond to those within 24 hours or less. And yeah, good luck with that. I think you'll, hopefully on your topics, you'll be able to find some really good information. All right, I think that's about it for this week, guys. I'll see you in the main forum.